Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor for those of you who have never been here before. And in today's video, I really wanted to talk about The Sims 5. One thing that I'm really worried about when it comes to The Sims 5 is the fact that I think EA will abandon The Sims 4 the way that they did with The Sims 3 and The Sims 2 when a new game came out, and I really am sad about that. And honestly, thinking about it makes me kind of sad, and I don't like that. So I wanted to talk about some of the things that I really want to see in The Sims 4 completed, fixed, updated, before we ever move on to The Sims 5. Now, do I think all of these things are going to happen? Honestly, probably not, but a girl can dream, and that's really all I can do at this point. But if you enjoy this video at any point throughout, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do that as well, and let's just jump into the video. So the very first thing I want to see before we get The Sims 5 is upgraded babies. Now I do have a feeling that that is something that is coming. It just feels right at this point. I'm just like, there's a lot of like little hints. I don't know if they're all in my brain. I don't know if they're real, but I do think that upgraded babies are something that's coming in the next like 12 months. Don't quote me on that. Don't like take it as gospel because I don't know anything. I'm not a game changer. I know nothing about what's happening behind the scenes for this game, but I really, really want upgraded babies. So maybe it's just because I want them that I'm thinking that it's going to happen. We'll see. But we've already made an entire video on the things I would want if we wanted to free the babies, so I'm not even going to go into depth with that one. I just know that upgraded babies have to come before we move on to The Sims 5, or a lot of players are going to be really upset because we've spent so much money, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this game over the years, and the fact that we still have babies as objects is very disappointing. The next thing is cars, and this is something that I also think is coming. There are a couple like little things that make me think this. The first still is the name Henford on Bagley. Now when we got that name, a lot of people were like, okay, could this be a hint towards cars? Or could this mean that cars are coming in this pack? And the reason for that is that Henford, made cars. So I don't know anything about cars, but like Henry Ford was like the Ford guy, the car guy. This makes me sound so stupid, but it's fine. And he made a car or something on Bagley Street. So like Henford on Bagley. Sketchy, cars, hint. It's still in my brain. I still think it's going to happen. Also, in this world, there were a lot of car-related things. So I'm convinced that this is happening also in the next 12 months, but it might be in my head. Anyway, so I would really like to see cars. I would really like to see school buses. I would really like to see carpools. I would also really like to see the Zoomers food delivery arrive on bikes or in cars instead of just walking up to your house. I just really think that adding cars to the game, even though it is a closed world, still just makes it feel more real. And I really, 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 really want the ability for adults to teach teens to drive. Even as somebody without a license, I would love to teach my kids and my teenagers to drive in The Sims 4. The next thing is actual grocery stores or clothing stores. Now this is something that existed in previous games. In The Sims 2, it was my favorite thing to do to bring my Sims to go clothes shopping or grocery shopping, and the ability to actually need to grocery shop was really, really fun back then. Now they did add the Simple Living Lot Challenge and the ability to order groceries to your home and go into that grocery stall, but I would prefer if you actually could just go to a grocery store, pick up the things you need, or just like fill up your fridge with food like it was in The Sims 2. It's just one of those like little things that makes life feel a lot more real. Like if every week you had to have like one of the adults in your Sims household go out and do the weekly grocery shop, I think it would just feel more wholesome and happy. And it's one thing that I really, really want in the game, even though it's like kind of lame. The next thing I need in this game before we move on to The Sims 5 is a whole slew of new event types. I want to see funerals because honestly when a Sim dies it just doesn't feel complete. I want to be able to have an actual funeral and like celebrate their life in a way that feels very special, and like different funeral objects. I think that should all be added in a base game update. Please. But I would really like to see funerals. The next event I would really like to see in this game before we move on is baby showers, where we get a bunch of presents because babies are expensive. They may be objects, but once they grow up to toddlers, they are expensive. And I would also really like to see, if we get a Generations pack, engagement parties and bachelor and bachelorette parties, which are, bachelor and bachelorette parties were in The Sims 3, so we need that, please. But engagement parties feel like something that is missing from the game. Like if you were able to like get engaged, go in, have a party, I don't know. I just want it. I want it really bad. The next thing is content for teenagers. One thing that's always bugged me in this game is that teens feel exactly like young adults or adults. They don't have anything that makes them very unique or any objects that are like just for teens. I would love to have an entire pack just dedicated to teenage life with things like prom. Oh, I miss prom in The Sims 3. It was such a big deal. Things like sleepovers, which obviously also apply to kids, but like teenage sleepovers are just like a different beast. The ability to throw parties when your parents go away, which was also in The Sims 3. There's so many things in old games that I'm just like, I want this back so badly. But the ability to throw parties when your parents are away was so fun because your parents were like, go away on vacation, and then your teens could throw a party and have all of their friends over and like maybe get in trouble. Like that was fun. Consequences are fun. I would also really like some like teen-specific after-school activities, like maybe a debate club, because we have the research and debate skill in university. Like you could add that so easily. It's just a rabbit hole. Like go back, fix that pack, add a debate club. I want it. Or like a swim team or a soccer team or all of these things that could be, because those objects exist in the game. We could make teen-specific after-school activities a thing. The next thing I don't at all think is going to come to the game, but it's one of those things that I really would love to see before we get The Sims 5, but honestly probably won't happen, and that is height sliders. Obviously there are modders who have been able to do this, but there are animation issues and stuff with those. But the ability to have your Sims who are teenaged or adults and have them all different sizes, you know, teens need to be smaller, adults need to vary, because honestly, I'm like 5'4", 5'5", somewhere in there, I don't even know anymore, and like my brother is 6'4", and we shouldn't be the same size in a Sims game. Because I'm small, he's tall. You know, it's very different. But this makes your Sims feel a lot more unique. Like, I would love to have, like, Nancy Landgrab be really tall and scary and always wearing heels. Honestly, she needs, like, a whole makeover situation in this game because her vibe just doesn't fit who she's supposed to be. Anyway, I feel like she should be, like, super tall, wearing heels and, like, designer dresses all the time, and then you just have, like, your Sims who are small and don't wear designer clothes, and then they look completely different because Nancy's so tall. These are the things I want. I would really love to see height sliders in the game, for sure. The next thing I would love is a real memory system. I really love the Sims 2 memory system. It's very simple. It's just like little icons that you can hover over and see what was going on in the Sims' life. You have like when they learn to walk, where they learn to talk, which are things I also really miss, actually teaching your kids to walk and talk instead of the movement and communication skills, but that's a whole different beast. Anyway, but when they learn to walk, when they learn to talk, when they had their first kiss, when they moved, all of these things were like cataloged in a nice, you know, chronological order that you could go and look back on your Sims' lives. Or if you opened up a new save with like if you opened up Don Lothario's life, you could see that he was like falling in love with women and woohooing with women for the first time. And you got this sense of like who that Sim is and what their life was like. We don't have anything like that in The Sims 4. And honestly, that's just really disappointing. I want to be able to see what Sims have gone through, what kind of things that they're into, what kind of things that they learned, what kind of things that, like, their life experiences with their families. So I would really love to see an actual memory system in the game that you can just easily access that just like makes you happy. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy when I know what Sims have gone through. The next thing I would love to see is an attraction system that like actually makes sense. In The Sims 4, you don't get to actually pick your Sims preferences, so you can't like be like, oh, this Sim is interested in men, this Sim is interested in women, this Sim is interested in anybody. Like, you don't get to choose those kinds of things. That's one thing I would like to see, is actually being able to define your preferences, and having all of the different options available to your Sims would be very cool. I would also like it if they just were attracted to some people and not attracted to others for specific reasons. In past games, you were able to be like, okay, I like people who have facial hair and who have brown hair. I don't like people who have red hair. And like that was something that your Sims would gravitate towards. They'd be like, oh, this Sim does not have red hair and they have facial hair. They're cute. I want to kiss them. And that just makes you feel like your Sims are more real. Like, that's just what I want. I want Sims to feel like they have preferences, like they have memories, all of these things that just make them feel more real, more alive, and just more fun. And having this kind of preferences system is so much more fun, because you try to get your Sims to like flirt with somebody they're not interested in, they could be like, why are you doing this? And have like a, why am I flirting with this person who's not even cute kind of moodlet. And I think that'd be really funny. And honestly, it's just fun. You could literally have them like interested in elders. That's hilarious to me. Just be like, oh, this Sim is a gold digger. They're interested in anybody who has money and is old. And the final thing I want is some story progression. Obviously, if you get mods like MC Command Center, story progression happens on its own. But this isn't a thing in the game where like Sims will go off and get married and have babies without you doing anything, and I love that. I want the whole world around me to keep changing and evolving and being different every single time. And I want Sims like Nancy Landgrab and Malcolm to just maybe pop out another baby just because their marriage is rocky. The Pancakes pop out another baby because their marriage is rocky. Or other Sims who might actually be happy in their lives pop out a baby because they're happy. And like maybe get divorced. Maybe kill their husband autonomously. These are all things that I want in the game. I really just want to see different Sims doing different things, maybe getting new careers, switching jobs, moving houses would be really cool. Like if you just had Sims, just the land grabs, maybe they lose all of their money autonomously without you doing anything, and they end up having to like move next door to you, and your neighbors are just automatically different without you doing anything. Imagine how much chaos that could cause in the world and how fun that could be. I would just love to see some story progression in the world that just doesn't affect the Sims you're playing with, but affects everybody else and just makes the game so much more chaotic. Now, I do know that there are Sims Sims players who play a bunch of different households in the same save file, and for these players I do wish there was a way to toggle on and off story progression if we do get it in the game, just so that your other families that you're also playing aren't getting divorced without you wanting them to. So it could be a thing that could be turned off for your played households and just everybody else changes. That would be very interesting to me. But yeah guys, those are all the things I could come up with for things that I would like to see in The Sims 4 before we get The Sims 5. If you have any other ideas of things that you would like to see, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. I love talking to you guys down there and responding to your comments. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye everybody!